Hey guys, Greg here. So, I'm in the back vinyl room and I am working on a big shift. I showed you my whole front vinyl room yesterday, 40 something cubes of IKEA, and as soon as I shot that video we set about rearranging our vinyl. So 2 cubes of classical came back here, became 3.5 cubes of classical because I bought a lot in the last couple of years and it wasn't found anywhere. And then I proceeded to discuss with my wife what we're going to do with all these cubes. She came up with the idea to get rid of big band out in front and move it back here. She said, put the stuff that nobody listens to back here. Like, this is the back of the bus here, classical and big band. Okay, I get it. So then soul will move to where big band used to be, and then jazz can expand into where soul used to be. All good. I also went to a record store today and did some trade-ins, which I don't do that often. I traded in about a dozen records I had bought in the last couple months. Some of the thrift shop stuff that I got for $1 each, so I ended up getting almost $30 for that stuff, which means I came away with 2 records we're listening to now. And I didn't have much time, so these are kind of impulse buys. Steve Reich, the minimalist avant-garde guy. I've never seen this record. It was in the new arrival pile. It's called Information, Transmission, Modulation, and Noise. Those are some of my 4 favorite things, especially noise. This is re-release of old stuff. 4 organs recorded live in New York City, 1969, with Philip Glass on electric organ. That's what you're hearing right now. Why is it so repetitive? Is it a broken record? No, that's what minimalism does. It repeats, but it goes in and out of phase, so it's subtle. And then drumming, a famous piece of his, percussionists from Ghana, and then music in similar motion. I'm not familiar with that piece. That's a Philip Glass piece recorded in Minneapolis, 1970. So this is old classic, sort of early minimalist stuff. Amplified cello, electric harpsichord, soprano saxophones, Philip Glass manipulating some electronics or something kind of cool. I saw this and thought, this record is so rare I'm never going to see it again, so I grabbed it on Alternative Fox Records, KPFK FM radio. Where is that? I don't know. And then, another pretty weird record, Lonnie Liston Smith, Astral Traveling. Hype sticker says the spiritual jazz fusion classic on Blue Eternity vinyl, 1,000 copies only. I've been kind of getting into the whole Alice Coltrane spiritual jazz with chimes and harps and all that stuff. So this sort of fits into that category. Hopefully it's good. So the good news for the massive amount of record mess going on in my house, I left with 12 or 13 records and came back with only 2. So in terms of the amount of space and storage, we're doing good. So I pulled out the big band cube, 1 cube of big band, and that's got to fit in here somewhere. I don't know where, there's no space in here. This plus a giant orange crate. So anything good here? Oh my god. Right off the bat, an amazing record. Let's see. This is a record you guys have never seen, never heard of, and you're going to wonder why I'm showing it. Towson State University in Texas, I think. Composer and conductor Hank Levy. This is his band in 1979. And why is this significant? 1 or 2 reasons. Hold on. I got this for $1. I meant to feature this in another video. Hank Levy was known as obviously a university level big band conductor. You know, in the 70s when big band conductors and musicians were all white guys. He recorded a really famous song on here. It's called Whiplash. Yeah, the title track to the movie, Whiplash. This was probably the first recording. He really composed it for Don Ellis, the trumpet player. This whole thing is about weird time signatures, so Don Ellis always recorded weird time signatures. There's a little Easter egg in this record. It's a letter To Mom and Dad. Wait, what is this? This is a letter to or from somebody in the band. I won't get into all that. I'm going to show you this whole queue of 60 big band records real quick. But this is a personal letter to or from someone in the band. I'll read it to you some other time. Whiplash. There you go. Okay. I'm going to go through these and only get to the good ones. Let's see. I got to keep them in order though. Gene Krupa. Gerald Wilson, you might know him. Okay, now we got a lot of Fats Waller. Not really big band, excuse me. Not really big band, but the whole old-timey jazz thing I'm throwing in the big band section. Fats Waller, Fats Waller. Here's a nice old one. Fats Waller Plays and Sings. Any cool songs on here? Shortening Bread. Your Socks Don't Match. Stardust by the Light of the Silver Moon. Here's a famous one other people have shown. Fats Waller piano solos, just piano. I prefer him singing. Bluebird. So this reminds us, all these records from Fats Waller were originally done on 78 RPM. So anything from Fats Waller that you ever heard was originally 78 RPM. Even this one. Fats Waller and his Rhythm Ain't Misbehavin', Honeysuckle Rose. I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter. Hold Tight, Want Some Seafood Mama, Your Feet's Too Big. All great, hilarious, fun tunes. Join Us Jumpin'. Doc Severinsen. Sing Along with Nelson Riddle. More Nelson Riddle. What is this? Here's a record without a... What the hell, I just scratched it up. Who's Joe Reisman? No idea. Okay, a lot of junkier stuff here. Jimmy Lunsford, really old-fashioned, 1934. Kay Kaiser. Early big band stuff in the 30s. Okay. Guess what I'm doing? Get volume. Turn it down just a little. Okay, gotta keep all these in order. Gene Krupa. In Highest Hi-Fi, the great drummer. Roy Eldridge on trumpet. That's pretty cool. Stan Kenton. Got a lot of Stan Kenton. Stan Kenton, great arranger, composer, and became an academic. Taught a lot of probably university type class stuff. Stan Kenton. Oh, here's a cool one. Stan Kenton and his Neophonic Orchestra. He's trying to get a little bit into the psychedelic, I guess. What's a Neophonic Orchestra? I have no idea. That's cool. Neil Hefti. Neil Hefti, I think, did a lot of arranging for Count Basie. Neil Hefti, Hot and Heavy. Hot and Hearty, I'm sorry. Hot and Heavy was from a Seinfeld episode. Woody Herman. Stan Kenton. I guess we're out of order. I got more, guys. Stan Kenton. Stan Kenton doing West Side Story. Woody Herman. Steve Allen's All-Stars. Steve Allen, one of the most prolific composers in jazz history, was the host of The Tonight Show before Johnny Carson. Terry Gibbs on the Vibes. More Terry Gibbs on Vibes. Look up Terry Gibbs and look at some of his Tonight Show appearances in like the 60s. Amazing. Fletcher Henderson, one of the oldest big bands. I think Louis Armstrong played for him in the 20s, probably. Coleman Hawkins, Benny Carter, Fletcher Henderson. What about Louis Armstrong? Benny Goodman, this is a famous record. Carnegie Hall Jazz Concert, 1938. Box set, 2 or 3 records. Gene Krupa. Yada yada yada. Benny Goodman. This is a very nice one. Out of the Cool, Gil Evans. This is one of the first records on the Impulse label. What's the number? Impulse number 4. Gil Evans. I featured this record before. Alright, don't move. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Please hold. Okay, what is this doing here? This goes in the Miles Davis section. Miles Davis and Gil Evans. Miles ahead plus 19. That's got to be moved, people. Oh, that'll give me Miles Davis. Okay, here's one I showed before. Duke Ellington, Indigos. Ton of Duke Ellington here. It's a really famous one. Masterpieces by Ellington. You know what year this is? Recorded 1950. Tail end, I should say, the very beginning of the LP era. Mercer Ellington is Duke Ellington's son. Duke Ellington 66. What is that, Newport? I Want to Hold Your Hand. Duke Ellington. Afro Bossa, African Bossa Nova. A little bit ethnic sounding there. Who's on here? Anybody good? Billy Strayhorn, of course, on piano. This is not greatest hits. This is everything. This is the whole cube. I'm just whipping through it real quick for you. Duke Ellington. Uptown Ellington. Okay. Duke Ellington. We're going in reverse alphabetical order in case you didn't notice. Tommy Dorsey on Bluebird. Again, 78 RPM original. Almost everything from the big band era was on 78. Xavier Cugat. He's awesome. Remember the caricature of him? The Latin rhythms of Xavier Cugat. He had a big hit with the song Brazil, and he was married to, do you know who he was married to? He had a handful of beautiful wives, but his last wife was Charo, Coochie Coochie. That was his wife. Here's a nice cover. I have a lot of Xavier Cugat. I got like 5 or 6 records. Okay, we're almost done with big band, guys. You can get on with your night and not be watching such a dirty video. Okay, now we're on to the greatest, Count Basie. Count Basie roars again. This is old stuff. That's on Verve. Norman Granz. I'm going to pull out the vinyl just for the heck of it. Look at the old Verve Clef label. The Clef series, Norman Granz. Count Basie plays Neil Hefti. Neil Hefti was his arranger, conductor, composer, whatever, for a long time. Most famous cover of Count Basie's career, the big atomic bomb explosion. It's called E equals MC squared. Count Basie plus Neil Hefti arrangements. I thought it had a funny name like Kaboom or something. What tunes are on here? Splanky, Little Darlin', those are pretty famous. Count Basie, more Basie, even more Basie. Okay, I'm trying to get through these quick for you guys. Here's a nice one. Count Basie and his Kansas City 7. Again, this is stuff that would have been on 78 RPM reissue. Rudy Van Gelder. Thad Jones. Freddie Green on guitar. Not Grant Green, Freddie Green. When I played in the big band in high school, my teacher said, play like Freddie Green. Just cha-chunk, cha-chunk, cha-chunk. Nothing fancy. Cha-chunk, cha-chunk. My band leader was a huge, 2 of these. Huge Basie guy. Basie with Joe Williams singing. Luke Armstrong. Luke Armstrong? Who's that? Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington. Now we're into the Louis Armstrong section. Satchmo plays Fats Waller. Awesome. 2 great dudes. Let's see. Satchmo plays a tribute to the immortal Fats Waller. Honeysuckle Rose, Crazy About My Baby, Ain't Misbehavin', and Hello Dolly. Not really a jazz record. That is a pop record. That's like the whole big band section, guys. I gotta find room out of these 8 cubes to stick all of big band so I can move soul into big band, jazz into soul. This is a major project that's going going to take a while, so thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching Big Band on the Vinyl Rundown, and we're still listening to Steve Reich. Hopefully it's not too repetitive for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Check you soon.